Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamu alaikum. Welcome back to Small Talk. I am recording this video outside because it's a beautiful day here. And I just wanted to go over few things that I have noticed about Pakistani community, especially the women in Indian Pakistani subcontinent region. We're all struggling to lose weight and stay healthy and be look presentable, but it's been very difficult for us to do so. And I have done some research for past 10 years and it has come very handy for me. I'm going to go over three basic steps that we can use to become physically fit and look presentable and lose lots of belly fat particularly. So the first thing first is Allah Ta'ala has put a body clock in us as a human being, and it's called, so it works with the daylight. So when we wake up in the morning, every organ in our body starts working at its peak, and it becomes very active. So when we wake up in the morning, we should open up all the windows so we can get the daylight, and then we should eat between the sunrise and sunset window. That's number one. You should not be eating past sunset, because at sunset our body automatically registers that it's time for us to rest, and then every organ in our body kind of slows down, including our stomach. So we cannot digest food as effectively and as efficiently when we eat late at night. So that's called the circadian rhythm of our body. So we have to work with the circadian rhythm, and we should be able to eat the food and digest it. The second thing is intermittent fasting. So usually in the winter, sun sets around 5 o'clock here in the US. So if we stop eating at 5 o'clock, by the time we wake up in the morning and do our fajr, and we're ready to start our day, it's probably 8-9 o'clock. That's when we eat our breakfast. So that will give us about 15-hour window in between our two meals. So when we eat at 5 o'clock and then we don't eat anything until we go to bed, which is usually around 10 o'clock at night, most people go to sleep around that time, it takes our body 5 hours to digest the food that we've already consumed. And then overnight when we're sleeping, our body obviously need energy to perform its daily functions, or nightly functions rather, I should say. So our body digs into that stored fat that we have, and it just uses energy from that fat to consume overnight. So in result, we as a human being end up burning some fat at night when we're sleeping if we don't sleep full stomach at night. So try to eat at least 5 hours before you go to bed, and try to sleep empty stomach. So you're not skipping dinner, but we're eating rather an early dinner. And don't eat anything after you had your last meal except for water. Number three is the portion control. So we as a Pakistani and Indian and Desi community in general have a habit of eating plates full of biryani and pulaus and lots of naan and roti and salan and all those things. And our food is very dense in calories. So when we consume all that food, we don't realize how many calories we have taken in. Like for example, someone like me of my age and my height and weight, I should be only consuming 1200 calories a day, but what happens is on an average I end up consuming anywhere between 25 to 3000 calories, because if I eat 3 meals and snacks in between, that is going to add up to my calories, and we don't even realize that we have eaten way more calories than our body actually needs. So when you shrink your eating window, it automatically reduces your meals from going from 5 meals a day to maybe 3, and then finally 2 meals. And try to eat clean, healthy, good calorie diet. I will go over the details, what's a good calorie diet and what's a healthy diet. And that way we can understand that sometimes even if you're eating a little bit higher calorie diet, because it's good for you, it may not be causing you the weight gain, versus if you eat empty calories and bad calories, even if they're smaller in number in the beginning, maybe you'll lose weight, but in the longer run they're going to be harmful for you, and you will end up putting excessive weight. So third thing was that we have to have portion control. So eat small portions in the morning, and try to eat protein in your diet as much as you can, and less carbs and sugars. There are lots of healthy sweeteners that you can consume, so try to stick with the whole food, and whole food is a food that doesn't have any ingredients on it. For example, an apple is always an apple. There is no additional ingredient to it. Honey, dates, all the fruits and vegetables, they're all considered whole food. Whole grains, brown rice, all those things are whole food. Lentil, legumes, beans, these are all whole foods. They don't have any additive or preservatives in them, so there are good calories for you to consume. And as long as you watch your portion, you can consume all of those and still stay healthy. These are just a few tips to maintain the weight that you have right now, so it will not cause you any additional weight gain. And then in my next video, I will go over some of the details where we can talk about different options. This is going to be a long series of videos, and it's very, to my surprise, there are lots of things that were portrayed as bad foods for us turned up to be the best food for our body, and some of the things that were advertised as the best food for our body, they turned out to be the worst food. And I always say that whenever I talk about different topics, I always like to go back to the original source. And for us Muslim, the original source is the Prophet, peace be upon him, and how he lived his life. And Prophet has told us that we should have a portion control. And portion control means, he said, if you should never eat your food full stomach. Your food should be 1/3 of your stomach should be full with food, 1/3 water, and you should have 1/3 empty. What we end up doing is eat a full plate of meal, and then we drink water or soda or tea after that, and then we have desserts. So there's really no more room for our body to digest the food easily, and that's how we end up storing the extra calories that we consume as a fat in our body. And for us desis, it mainly attacks the midsection around our waistline, which looks very bad and very ugly. So just follow the way of Prophet and how he lived his life and how he ate certain meals, and that would be very helpful us. And the circadian rhythm would work because we are consuming the diet during the daylight, because we were gatherers and hunters. So hunters would go out and hunt in the daylight, and gatherers, which are mostly women and children, will stay home, and they will gather together at night and eat before it was sunset. Everybody will get home and get together around their fire, and they will consume their meal in the evening. So our bodies are designed to eat in the daylight and not after the sun has set or after it's dark outside. So try to consume your diet as early in the night as you possibly can, and divide your meals so you have the heaviest meal in the morning, the little bit lighter meal in for lunch, and a very small meal for dinner. The hadith of the Prophet is, you must eat dinner, never skip dinner, even if you have to consume one date. So ultimately, just eat as small as one date, but you should eat something, but don't heavily eat. We do the other way around. We eat very light breakfast, sometimes no breakfast whatsoever, and then we eat little bit heavier lunch, maybe a sandwich, or I don't know, if we eat out for lunch, if you're a working woman or working man, and then we consume a heavy meal at night, because that's when we get together as a family, and that's the best meal of the day that we usually consume. And those are the bad timings to consume your diet. So just follow these 3 basic steps to maintain the weight. And then next video I will go over some of the um, some of the habits that we can adopt, which will help us lose weight and make us look fit. So we'll be healthier, we'll look much better, and we'll have a much better and healthy life. I hope this video helps. Please give my video a thumbs up. Subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. Until next video, Allah Hafiz.